Okay, so in this problem, we need to find the maximum count in a given array of which is sorted. You find the count of all the negative numbers, total count. Then you find the total count of all the positive numbers. Out of this to count, return the maximum count. Also, note that we are not supposed to consider zeros. So in this situation, in this example too, the count of negative numbers is 3, the count of positive numbers is 2. So the maximum would be 3 and the output is 3. So our first approach would be to use brute force. What I can do is I can create two variables, positive is equal to 0, let a negative equal to 0, and then you run for each loop on this nums array. If num is greater than 0, then positive, increase the count of positive. If num is less than 0, then increase the count of negative. And at the end, you can return max.max between the positive and the negative integer. I have a typo here. You return the maximum. So let us submit this. So this is the most fastest way. Oh, I got a error. Count of positive. If num is less than 0, then negative. It has to be negative. We are increasing the count, so we need to increase the count of all these items. Okay. Now I've tried many solutions over here, but after reading one of the solution, I understood that since this is a non-decreasing, where the array is sorted, we can also use binary search. And how binary search? We have to run this binary search two times. The first binary search would get the index of the minimum number, the negative number. Over here, -1. So we need to target for -1, a number which is less than 0. If we get the index of this number over here, then it will be the what would be the index? Index would be 0, 1, and 2. Okay, and to this we add +1 so that we get a count. Similarly, we need to run a binary search for any number which is greater than 0. So over here, the index, it would return an index, which is index for this item 1. So what would be the index? It is 0, 1, 2, and 3. We will get 3 as the index. But in this case, to find the count of positive numbers, what we have to do is we have to minus it from the length of the array. So what is the length of the array? Over the length of the array is 6. Our positive number is on the index 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So what we have got? We have got the count of negative numbers, which is 3. Count of positive numbers, which is 3. The maximum is 3. So our output is 3. So let us try to uh, code this. And what we can do is we can get first we can also do two things over here. What if the array is of only 0, consisting of only 0? Then we'll have to return 0. So what we can do is we can check for all the items which is for all zeros. So we can check is like if the nums of 0, if the 0th item is equal to 0, and nums of length is equal to 0, then we can directly return 0. We can also check if all are positive or all are negative. What if all the items in the array are either positive or negative, greater than 0? So we'll directly return the length of the array. So if num of 0 is greater than 0, that means if the first item is greater than 0, that means all these items will be greater than 0. So we can directly return nums.length. And Also we can check, or if nums dot length minus 1 is less than 0. That means if the last item is less than 0, that means all the previous items will be less than 0. So we can directly return nums dot length. Now we need to check for the minimum position. So we can say const min, we will just say negative position is equal to, we have to run a binary search for negative. We pass the nums array to it, and then we add, because we are getting the index, we'll have to add +1 to it. Similarly for positive position, let's say binary search positive, we pass the nums array to it, and to this, whatever position we get, we have to subtract the length of the array. Okay. And what we have to return? We have to return math.max negative position comma positive position. Okay, so let's write our functions. So function, directly copy this. We are passing nums as the array, and we are returning a number over here. So let start equal to 0, let end equal to nums dot let minus y start is less than. We have to calculate the middle position now. So start plus dot say and minus start. Now if nums of mid is less than 0, if it is less than 0, over here we want to find the negative number. So if the middle position is less than 0, that means there are chances that uh, the negative number can be in this half of the array. Let's say our middle is this -1, and we say that the nums of mid is less than 0. Yes, it is less than 0. So we need to we need to change the value of start. Why? Because possibly there are more negative numbers on this side of the array. So we can say start is equal to mid s and is equal to mid -1. If this number is, if we, let's say if we get the middle array of mid is greater than 0, it is 1. That means there are still negative numbers that are towards the left hand side. So we say and we change our mid to mid -1 over here, and then return start. Okay. Now we need to create another binary search function to find the positive number, any number which is greater than 0. So we can say function binary search, it accepts num as the array, and then over here like this. So let start equal to 0, let end equal to nums dot length minus num y start is less than end. This is let mid equal to start plus math.float and minus the if nums of mid is greater than 0. Okay, so whatever the middle element, is it greater than 0? So let's say our middle is over here and we are saying is it greater than 0? That means there can be more numbers towards the left that are greater than 0. So our end would be mid minus 1. So we'll have to consider from start to over here, else our start has to be mid, and then we return start. So let us just run this and see if I get correct answer. Okay, so there is some issue, we are getting this wrong answer. So nums of mid is greater than 0. Okay, if nums of mid is greater than 0, we are over here and the nums of mid is greater than 0, then mid, I'm just checking my solution over here. Okay, and start has to be mid, end has to be mid. There's some index calculation issue, and start has to be mid plus 1. Okay, and the solution. Okay.